Last episode of Truly Bedrock, we found an epic cave. Okay. Big scary cave. And then some people found us and built obnoxiously close, but it also looks like since then, Silent has added a tower, and I've been doing a little bit of research. I found out whose house this is. And this belongs to Jessie B, and it looks amazing, and they're both really tall compared to mine. There's no tower on my building, and that makes me sad, so we might have to do some kind of an expansion today. But before we start thinking about that too much, in between episodes, I have done a little bit of work. You may remember I was actually losing my voice last episode, which was very, very annoying. But during the time I couldn't record, I've added a quaint little garden out the front here, so I've now got some crops and some food coming in, and I've also done a little bit more work on the interior. We've added some signs to some places. We've got a tiny blow-up Beardstone just holding a potato. And if we go up to the next floor, I've just put in a small furnace array. It only does 8 furnaces. It's nothing particularly special. We just put our goods in there and our fuel in the bottom, and it does its thing and deposits into this barrel, which conveniently enough is actually also accessible from the bottom level. I've added a couple of shelves and some details in here as well, but nothing major. And upstairs, I've still got a lot of work to do. This is going to be a bedroom of some sort, but over here is a lava farm. What better place to make lava than directly opposite where you sleep? But this is going to be the fuel for our furnace system. So I've got 10 buckets there at the moment. I'll probably end up adding a few more as we go on, and I have no idea what we're going to do with the top bit there. I also did a little bit of mining in between as well. I made myself a drop chute down here, and this takes absolutely forever to get to the bottom because it goes all the way down to Y-59. And down here we did a little bit of strip mining. We managed to get about a stack of diamonds and lots of lava on that side, but on this side we had a really good run, got lots and lots of diamonds, and we enchanted our gear. I'm now going to spend 5 minutes climbing back to the top. Well, it took forever, but we've made it back. I really should turn that into a bubble vator. We've also started digging out a little bit of a basement here, but that was mainly just because I needed a bit of cobble. So with doing all of this and moving everything over, one thing I have discovered is that the journey from here back over to Spawn Town is absolutely horrible. You've got the snow at the top here, which isn't particularly great. Some bits of it are powdered snow, but it looks like a lot of that's been removed now because that's just a death trap in itself. But the journey going down this hill and climbing back up this one is just horrible. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. And today we're going to do something about it. So question is, how are we going to do this? So I've given it a bit of thought, and I think what we're going to do is have a bridge that goes from that tree, kind of goes over these 2 lumps here and comes into the side. And then we're going to carve a path out of the mountain. We'll have some bits like this where we'll have tunnels that go through, and we're just going to loop it all the way around the sort of top edge of the mountain here, gradually spiraling up and meeting up with the front of the houses here. I think that's going to give us a much easier route back to spawn. So let's crack on. I'm going to need probably a lot more stone for this as well though. So that's the first thing I'm going to have to do. Go digging and get some stone. Although in saying that, I do actually have more than I remembered having, so we've got enough to at least get started. So the first thing I'm going to need to make sure I do is ensure that Silent's front door here is accessible, because how else am I supposed to get in there and steal his potatoes? So we'll add a small path here, and then we're just going to work it out from there, I guess. We'll probably end up grabbing the shovel, marking out exactly where we want the path to go before we start placing too many blocks. But this first bit is kind of obvious where it needs to go. Well, I've only just started and already the weather's turned and I'm being attacked by phantoms, so I think it's time to have a quick nap. This is going to get dangerous way too quickly otherwise. Just a short while later, and I think I've marked out at least where the first part of this path wants to go. This should be wide enough for everything that we need. I think I might take off the extra block here just to make this transition a little bit nicer. But that should actually do the trick for this top area here. And this is going to bring us all the way down and round to this sort of wider flat bit here, at which point we are going to go inside the mountain, and the idea is we're going to sort of curve it round to the right a little bit. So in theory we should be able to get it to come out somewhere, if I can get up here, somewhere just around here, maybe a little bit further down the side here, and that's going to take us onto the last bit of path before we get to the bridge. So in theory that should all work fine. The question is, can I dig the tunnel in the right direction? Well, it turns out I completely misjudged the tunnel, and as soon as I started to turn, I broke back out the side of the mountain. But that's absolutely fine. I think we can have it just come over here, and then we're going to step down at this point, and that's going to bring us directly out onto this platform down here. So it's worked out kind of perfectly, although once again, it's already night. I must sleep again. Oops. So it appears there's still some lighting issues around here somewhere, which is strange, considering mobs are only supposed to spawn in light levels of 0. And, like, how was that creeper there? I've literally got lights absolutely everywhere. There's nowhere it could have come from. I do not understand. Ah, jeez. Poor doggo. Oh well, back to building the path. So I've made a bit more progress, and we now have the tunnel that takes us through to the last bit of the mountain, and I'm assuming that's Lloyd's, as it's got a skull on it and a bit missing, but the view there, as you come down the tunnel, is awesome. And then the stairs just carry on down this way, and around about this point here is where we're going to put the bridge in. So I think for now, I might just keep the stone going across, just so we can see exactly where the bridge is going to go. And from there, we can actually start designing things. And there we have it. That should do the trick to connect up Spawn Town. We will, of course, still need to put in a bit of infrastructure over here so we can get up to the higher levels and whatnot. But as a basic sort of path, a basic route that we're going to take, I think this just about does the trick. We do have lots of work ahead of us, though, if we want to get this looking good, because that is disgusting. So I think the first thing we're going to do is to get all of the deep slate in, because this is going to sort of give it a bit more structure and make it look a bit more, you know, attached to the mountain, I guess. And we're also going to need to make sure that we replace these blocks at the bottom to make sure it's actually properly integrated. Starting to look better already just because it's got a bit more shape, but of course it looks ugly. It needs some texturing and some details and stuff. And to be honest, on this side of the hill, I might actually use stone brick and stuff like that instead of deep slate. But the server's about to restart, so I'd best log off. Or you can just boot me, fine. The next thing I'm going to do is get some of the texture blocks into some of these black stone walls, and I'm wondering if maybe I want to go and get some basalt at some point as well, because I think that's going to tie in quite nicely with this. It should look quite good. But we don't currently have any, and in fact we've not even been to the nether yet. So just with the addition of some texture, the walls are already looking a lot better. We've still got a lot of work to do in regards to sort of the actual landscape around it as well. But for now, I think I'm going to head up there and get the rails on the top. I think that's something else that's definitely going to be needed. Otherwise, we're just going to end up riding a horse right off the side of it. With the walls in place, the next step is to do a bit of texturizing on the path at the top here. That will pretty much complete the view, at least from this side, although we're still going to have a bit of work to do down there. But let's get this path in first and see how we're looking. I think a decent mixture of cracked stone brick, normal stone brick, and andesite put in with this stone would look quite good, and we'll have the occasional grass block and path patch as well, I think. So I've got the path textured down to at least where the tunnel starts, although I think I want to mix in a bit of cobble, and eventually I do want to get some mossy stuff in here as well. Problem with that is I don't currently have any vines, and I need to head back to the jungle in order to get some, which is over that way somewhere. What is that? Well, the jungle's over that way somewhere. Not entirely sure what that tower is. Probably something to do with Foxy, because I believe that's about where his base is on the other side there. What I want to do, though, is go stand back over on the mountain over there and actually have a look at this and see how we're doing, because I do wonder if we need a bit more detail in the wall down the bottom here before we actually just start covering it with leaves, which is ultimately what we're going to do, because, well, that's how we do things, isn't it? Okay, so from up here, it's actually not looking too bad. We do need to get some lanterns on some of these posts as well, though, I think. And once we get some leaves in around the bottom of this wall, I think that's going to be looking quite good. Might be worth putting in some kind of drain pipe type thing, but I don't really think that's going to be appropriate. So we'll probably ignore that for now. And of course, we still need to do the bit of path that goes over there, the tunnel itself, and oh no, powdered snow. Ah, I hate this. Oh, jeez, how deep is this? It's so deep. I'm taking damage. Oh, I'm going to die to freezing. Oh, let me out. Jeez, how many blocks deep was that? Oh, this stuff is murderous. Jeez. Let's just quickly block that in and avoid that area altogether. So that was, yeah, that was pretty bad. I'm going to stay off the snow. So, as I was trying to say before I was rudely interrupted by almost dying and freezing and stuff, I think that's going to work quite well. And it doesn't look too much with the black stone there, which is what I was a bit worried about. But we could even put some fences and hang some chains and lanterns from this as well, just to light up a bit of the hillside. So I think for now, I just need to carry this on and get it down as far as the bridge. In order to do that, however, we are going to need to go grab a few more resources. So I guess I'm going to head off and do that first, and hopefully when I bring you back, we'll actually have a nice completed path, at least down as far as the bridge. And I have absolutely no idea what we're going to do for that. Well, it's taken me a little while, but I think the path is now ready. I mean, it could still do with some viney bits, but I still need to go get some more vines to make that happen. But overall, I'm liking the path. The tunnels look okay. They do what they're supposed to do. They're all tunnely and whatnot. And this tunnel over here follows the same kind of pattern, and this goes all the way down to here. However, we've still got to do the bridge, and I do still need to do the texturing on this blackstone, get the railings on, and so on. But I've been thinking about the bridge and how we're going to get this to work. And I think I've got an idea of what I'm going to use materials-wise, but in order to make that happen, I'm going to need lots more dark oak. So I'm going to get planting these. I don't have any bone meal, so I'm probably just going to plant them down there, so that while I'm working on the stone parts of the bridge, at least the dark oak can be growing. The walk up here is still quite long, however. Longer than I was hoping. However, I believe there is a way to solve that using diamonds. Let's head back to spawn. So over here in Spawn Town, we've got an inflatable JCB actually selling some books which might be handy, and bows and things like that. So we'll have a look through those in a moment. But this is the bit I wanted to look at. 1 mule, fully equipped, 1 diamond block. Well, that mule doesn't look fully equipped. It hasn't got a saddle. Shenanigans from Rogue here. Okay, well, either way, I still want the mule, and maybe, just maybe... Yes, there, look, saddles. Excellent. Looks like I might not have been the only one to be swindled here. So he wants a diamond block, but because I've had to buy my own saddle, he can just have the diamonds individually instead. Ha! That'll show him. So let's get this saddle on our mule, which is amazing. It's even better than a donkey. I can't get about. There we go. Okay, let's see how fast this mule is. Okay, not bad, and it's got the saddle wobble. That is the most important thing of all. Yeah, this is going to make the trip much, much faster. I would say that's diamonds well spent. This will also be a good test to make sure I've made the tunnels tall enough, because we don't want to be suffocating as we're going through them. First one is a pass, and the second one is taller. So, yeah, definitely not a problem. Excellent, and we've also got our early game shulker box. One thing we don't have, however, is a name for our lovely mule here. So if you've got any ideas, then do let me know in the comments. I have a feeling I know what name's going to get suggested by a couple of people, because they've been requesting it for a while, and I've still not called a mule that. But who knows, if you do have a suggestion, let me know. We've got a name tag which we can make use of, and don't you go running away, mule. Yep, definitely going to need a name sooner rather than later. Can't go calling it Mule forever. But we can tie him up right there. Excellent. What was I doing before I got distracted? I've got myself loaded up, I've got my mule loaded up, and we are ready, hopefully, to build this bridge. I have cut down a couple of the dark oak trees in the meantime. We've been getting a little bit of that wood and lots of saplings, so I might actually quickly ride down there and see if there's any more floating about. But we haven't got anywhere near enough for this bridge yet. So we're going to be nipping up and down this bit quite a lot, I would imagine. But with the mule here, it's going to be a lot simpler to do. I have also sorted out this path, as you can see. But I don't know if I'm going to leave it like that. I might change it once I get the bridge in position, because it is using different materials, and it might look a little bit odd. I will have a look once it's ready. Don't go wandering too far, you. So in order to get this started, I have marked where the centre of the bridge is going to be, which is, of course, right here. So we're going to want kind of the first beam thing to go down this way, I guess. Let's just drop down. Hope we don't die. Yeah, everything's fine. Is that in the right place, though? Nope, that is totally not in the right place. It's, yep, that's definitely off. Okay, so we've got the first little bit in the right place, and the plan here is to have a couple of arches that are going to go over here, and they'll probably sort of start into a third kind of arch bit before it connects to the land, but this should work out quite nicely. I just need to figure out exactly how big I want the thing to be. So I'm going to play around with this for a bit, and I'll bring you back in once we've got at least the outline of some of the arches in. So I think I've got the basic shape of the arches in, but it looks extremely bland at the moment. So we're going to be taking some chunks out, adding in some detail, fattening out the base here, and overall just making this work a little bit better. I've also been collecting some dark oak while we've been building, but I have managed to get both sides in, so at least we should just be able to jump straight in and start sorting out the detail. I'm going to take a couple more trees down first, though. So I think what I'm going to do is use some andesite down the bottom here just to sort of bulk out the bottom of the pillars. And we're going to work out a way to get some detail into this as well. But first off, I'm just going to get this bit sorted, I think. So initially I was thinking something like that, but I'm not 100% sold on it. I'm going to play around with this side here and we'll see what we can come up with. We might be able to tie it all together nicely. I've been messing around a little bit, and I think I like how this is looking. I do, however, need to make sure I get some chains, some lanterns, and light the thing up, but I think this general layout is going to work. We do still need to get some texturing in, of course, but for now, I'm just going to get this design in along the rest of this side at least. We'll get some lanterns on, and then we'll see how it's looking, and if we like it, we'll transfer the same to the other side. Lots of work ahead of us. And there we go, that is one side complete. And now all we need to do is to reflect that on the other side. That took quite a while, and I imagine the other side's going to take just as long. We haven't even textured this yet. We'll probably still do that at some point, I guess. But yes, first up, I do want to get the other side looking good as well. Well, it took a couple of hours. I did get a few bits wrong here and there, but we managed to get all of this done, and it is now textured as well on both sides, and it's looking a lot better. Although it could probably do with some leaves and things around the base, but we'll come back to that another time. For now, I'm just pleased with the bridge. It's looking amazing, and now it's time to take it for a proper test drive. So I've also sorted out the top of the bridge at least a little bit. Once again, we do still need a bit of the old vines so we can sort out some mossy blocks in here. But I also need to clear up all of this mess. This is kind of my leftover stuff from where I've been building. So I'm going to grab as much of this as possible. I can probably put some on Mule as well. Excellent. And then it's going to be a case of heading home and making a start on our tower. What is this now?